Some sad news for fans of rapper Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
Rapper Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
As we all know, Snoop Dogg never liked Tupac and Suge Knight's relationship and was willing to do anything to end it. Throughout the ongoing Tupac murder case, the only thing the cops have ever wished for was to place the guilty parties behind bars. Well, their wish has finally come true, and just like Keefe D, Snoop Dogg will live in a prison cell for a very long time. Keep watching till the end of this video to see just now Snoop Dogg sentenced for Tupac's murder. Goodbye forever. Trust me, you don't want to miss this.
Before we get into the video, I want to give a quick shout out to the #1 celebrity jeweler, the Ice Champ. The Ice Champ is doing a special deal for the next 24 hours on diamond watches, chains, and more. Follow at the Ice Champ on Instagram now.
Snoop Dogg was always jealous of Tupac. Napoleon, a long-standing member of the Outlaws and one of the late rapper icon's closest confidants during his time at Death Row Records, discussed with Art of the Dialogue the reasons behind specific remarks made by Snoop Dogg concerning Tupac and their relationship in recent years. The rapper alluded to Snoop Dogg being outshone by Tupac while at Death Row, and Snoop's desire to be viewed and praised in a similar light as his former label mate as the cause for his need to rehash things. Maybe some of the things he couldn't tell Pac face to face. You know, he can do it in these interviews, Napoleon said of the Dogg father. Napoleon expressed that one reason for his disappointment with Snoop was the comments made by the Dogg-style creator regarding his response to hearing Tupac's blistering diss track Hit 'Em Up. Snoop, who recently revealed his dislike for the song, had confronted Tupac about it. In an episode of Big Boy's Untold Stories, the 51-year-old rapper reflected on the tension between him and Pac in the days preceding Tupac's tragic death in September 1996. Snoop mentioned that his willingness to collaborate with the Notorious B.I.G., Puff, and other New York artists contributed to the strain in their relationship. Tupac's killing. On the night of September 7, 1996, Tupac was in Las Vegas, Nevada to celebrate his business partner, Tracy Daniel Robinson's birthday, and to attend the Bruce Seldon-Mike Tyson boxing match with Suge Knight at the MGM Grand. In the lobby, someone in Tupac's group spotted Orlando Baby Lane Anderson, an alleged Southside Compton Crip, whom the individual accused of having tried to snatch his chain with a Death Row Records medallion at a shopping mall. Apparently, Baby Lane got the beating of his life that night. Tupac went to his hotel room to change into fresh clothes, and then headed with Knight to his Death Row nightclub 662. They were driving in a black BMW 750 IL sedan as part of a larger convoy. At about 11 p.m. on Las Vegas Boulevard, bicycle-mounted police stopped the car for its loud music and lack of license plates. The plates were found in the trunk, and the car was released without a ticket. A few minutes later, at about 11:15 p.m., while at a stoplight, a white four-door late-model Cadillac sedan pulled up to the passenger side of the BMW. A hand popped out of the window, and shots were rapidly fired into the car. Tupac was struck 4 times, once in the arm, once in the thigh, and twice in the chest, with one bullet entering his right lung. Shards hit Knight's head, leaving him injured. Despite his injury, Knight drove Tupac and himself a mile away from the crime scene to Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon Avenue. Tupac was taken to the University Medical Center of Southern Nevada, where he was heavily sedated and put on life support. Tupac died of respiratory failure following a cardiac arrest due to the removal of his right lung while in the critical care unit on the afternoon of Friday, September 13, 1996. Doctors tried to resuscitate him but were unable to halt the bleeding. He was pronounced dead at 4:03 p.m. Snoop Dogg's hate for Suge Knight and Tupac. Before becoming a main figure in West Coast gangsta rap, Snoop was an affiliate of the Rollin' 20s Crips and served prison time for drug possession while still a teenager. His experiences inspired his music on Death Row Records and the Chronic albums, which helped him earn prominent positions on several gangsta rap records. As Dr. Dre's protege, he collaborated closely in creating timeless records and witnessed their respective careers skyrocketing rapidly. In an interview, Suge Knight Knight asserted that he efficiently managed the business side, maintaining ownership of the label's profits and dispensing rewards as he deemed fit, thereby augmenting his musical equity and net worth. Amidst the pinnacle of his fame after Doggy Style, Snoop found himself entangled in a highly publicized murder trial. In 1996, Snoop and his former bodyguard were acquitted of the murder assault charge. Upon his acquittal, Snoop revealed to the Washington Post what he'd been thinking about during the trial. "For the past few months, I've been trying to figure out if I'd be able to raise my son. You know what I'm saying?" Before all this, Snoop Dogg and Tupac weren't particularly on the best of terms. Just as Dr. Dre hated Suge Knight, so did Snoop Dogg hate Tupac. Snoop was jealous of the fact that Knight preferred hanging out with Tupac above every other rapper signed to his record label. For him, it wasn't even a competition because Knight already saw Tupac as his favorite, so all his energy was invested in his projects rather than that of Snoop Dogg. At this point, Dr. Dre was already fed up with Knight's increasingly violent ways and leaving without contributing production work on Snoop's sophomore effort, The Dogfather. Like Dr. Dre, Snoop also grew tired of Death Row's violent content. As he explained to VH1 in 2011, "The Dogfather was a rebirth of me. I'm not gonna glorify none of this negativity that Death Row wanted me to do. I'm gonna bring a positive side of music." With morale low and the departure of Dr. Dre, things went even further south after Knight was arrested for probation violation, leading to a 9-year prison sentence. Snoop then left the record label behind and linked up with Master P's No Limit Records, as all hope was lost for the Death Row record label at the time, with half of its members gone and one of them dead. Possibly coinciding with Knight's forced removal from the game, Snoop Dogg became more outspoken about his disdain and irritation towards Knight. A documentary recap from BET highlights an older interview in which Snoop spoke about his decision to leave Death Row Records and never look back. "I was working against the devil, and through the grace of God, Master P and Priority Records put a deal together that was suitable for me." In 2022, their animosity with each other reached an all-time high. Suge Knight and Snoop Dogg both attended that year's Vibe Awards and might have come to blows had it not been for the intervention of that old eternal peacekeeper, Steve Harvey. The beef between the rappers went on for a while until Snoop decided to finally end it. Snoop Dogg wanted Death Row Records for himself. Snoop Dogg made a huge power play when he purchased the infamous Death Row Records. Friends and fans were congratulatory towards the Dogfather and wondered what new ideas he'd bring to the infamous label. One of those ideas was a possible collaboration with former foe, Bad Boy Records. Snoop dropped a short film to coincide with his latest album, Back on Death Row. And there's a part in the movie where the West Coast legend got on a FaceTime call with Diddy. The Bad Boy Records founder gave Snoop a round of applause for purchasing Death Row while congratulating him